everybody, and I want to welcome everyone to the Spirits episode of the Booze Geek. My name is Charles, and I am your host. And before I get started, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And if you like the episode, well, hit that like button too. Give us a big thumbs up, and I'm going to thank you all in advance. But on this episode, this Spirits episode, we are tasting and reviewing a whiskey from COOPER'S MARK Distilling, and they are located in Princeton, Minnesota. So I'm going to grab the bottle. Here we go. So from COOPER'S MARK, this is their small batch whiskey. And there's just enough in here to do a little tasting and review. I don't know who's been drinking out of this. It hasn't been me. It must be those gremlins. So this small batch, this clocks in at 45.5% ABV, which gives it right around 91 proof. So without further ado, let's pop the cork on this bad boy. Let's get this started. Here we go. 1, 2, here it is. There's the bottle, boom. And as I always say with spirits, just a little dab will do ya. But in this case, the little dab, well, that's going to finish off the bottle. That's about all we need. Those gremlins, I tell you, those gremlins. But what are you going to do? Well, let's look at this color. What do we got color-wise? Well, we got some legs on the glass, number one. But color-wise, I mean, that's really light. I mean, that is a light brown almost. I wouldn't even say it's copper. It's a really light brown. But while I'm swirling it, we're going to give it a nose in 2 seconds. Here we go. Swirl, swirl, swirl. Nose number one. What do we got aroma-wise? Well, first and foremost, we are getting a woodiness. And while I'm not going to specifically say it's oaky, I'm just going to say it's more like a general woodiness. And what else here? There's a little bit of peanut coming through. And what else? Some baked apple, some slight baked apple. But I am going to precursor it with this. The aromas are coming off very thin. But swirl, swirl, swirl away. I think it should be opened up by now. Let's give it a sippy sip and see what we got. Here we go. Sippy sip number one. Here we go. Prost, baby. Well, that is a really, really light-bodied whiskey. Really light-bodied. So now, with that being said, what do we have flavor-wise? Well, first and foremost, that woodiness is present. And like on the aromas, I'm not going to say it's oaky. It's just a general woodiness. But we are also getting some dried fruit. Very slight dried fruit. We are also getting some slight reminiscence of dates. There's an odd one here. Let me get one more quick sip here. One more quick sip. Come on. What am I missing? Yeah, it is. There's also a turmeric quality coming through as well. A little bit odd, but yeah, like the spiced turmeric. Oops, I just think I just splashed it out of the I splashed it out of the glass. Here's the thing. I mean, first and foremost, like I said, aromas very thin. Flavor palette very thin. It's just, I don't know if I'd say this is an everyday whiskey. It's just really generic. I mean, what would I give this on the meter? I mean, if you're going to use this as a mixer, it'd work great. Yeah, it would work great as a mixer. But, I mean, maybe try putting an ice cube in this, which it doesn't really need it. Maybe a few drops of water. Probably wouldn't change it that much. Honestly, it tastes to me like it's way too young. I don't know. It just seems really generic. And let me add this. 45.5%. A little bit of alcohol heat, but it's not overbearing. So that it has in the plus column. Honestly, I'm only going to give this... I'm going to give this whiskey a 4. Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4. I mean, buy it, use it as a mixer. I'll say that. But on that note, yeah, I'm going to wrap this up, and that's going to be my, that's my take on the Cooper's Mark Small Batch. But with that, I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Spirits episode. And as always, you can follow me at the websites, which are www.pubsappleplankton.com or the blog, which is www.pubsappleplankton.blogspot.com. And with that, we will see you on the next episode. So raise that glass. We'll see you next time. Cheers, PROST, and enjoy.